Mike Guldin has teamed up with veteran Grammy Award-winning producer Kevin McKendry and his Blue Sky Tunes label to present Mike's newest album, While I Can, recorded at the Rock House in Franklin, Tennessee, and will be released in April 2026. Showcasing 12 raucous tracks reminiscent of Memphis Soul and Gospel, Muscle Shoals R&B, Texas Blues Rock, Americana and honky-tonk country. Strong songwriting and superb musical production are highlighted throughout. Pre-sale information will be forthcoming. In the meantime, check out MikeGuldin.com for details.
On top of the world or down in the blues, it's always a warm road.
Hey, I'm John Ralston from Ralston Radio. Joining me today, Mike Guldin.
Hey, John, how are
from
you?
Rolling and Tumbling. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Life is good.
It's January 2nd.
January 2nd.
It's a new year, new album.
Yep, new year, new album. I have a brand new album called While I Can. It's going to drop April 1st, and really excited about it.
So tell me about the title, While I Can.
So, my dad, years ago when he got sick, he told me, he said, Mike, if there's anything you ever want to do in life, do it while you can. So I really wanted to make this record with my friend Kevin McKendry producing, and I just did it, and while I can. That's kind of the story behind the initial push to get this album recorded.
Tell me about Kevin.
So Kevin, I've recorded a lot of
Where's
music.
he from?
He's originally from Virginia,
Okay.
just like the DC area.
Right.
But he's a multi-Grammy winner. Was Delbert McClinton's band leader for 25 years. He was in Leroy Parnell's band. He was in the Brian Setzer Orchestra. He toured with Brian Setzer when they did their Rockabilly Riot tour. He's been on the last 7 Buddy Guy records. Pretty much, he's a who's who of keyboard players in Nashville.
He plays guitar and does vocals. And,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's
he
great.
he did a lot of really cool tremolo guitar work on this album that is it's slick.
Yeah. Well, I'm feeling fortunate that you let me listen to this album a couple times.
Yeah.
You know, I listened to it a couple times. I gotta say, Driving Rain, that first song on the album, that had to be the first song on the album. That's a really good
Yeah.
song.
So it was an interesting process getting together to do this album because I went down to Franklin, Tennessee, which is where Kevin lives, and that's where his studio is. And I spent a week with him over last Easter, and we hadn't written before together. And a little apprehensive because he's a world-class Grammy-winning producer and songwriter and everything, but we really clicked. And between me and him, and then another friend of mine, James Pennybaker, who is also a longtime Delbert band member and just a Texas guitar legend. He lives in Tennessee now too, and he's been on my last 4 albums. So
You've been doing work with him for a while.
Yeah, so I said to Kevin, wow, we should bring James over and let's write with him too. So me and Kevin wrote 3 tunes together, and then we wrote another 3 with James. And then Kevin's like, I have a couple tunes that I've written for other artists that they ended up not cutting. And he goes, you should listen to these. One of them was Driving Rain, which was written by him and Dave Duncan and Curtis Salgado, who's a big blues guy.
How'd they let that slip away?
I don't know, but
That's a gift.
Yeah.
Because that song is really good. I mean, that really punches for the first
I'm not
song.
sure whether that particular song has been cut before or not. There's another song on the album written by Kevin and a guy named Gary Nicholson, who's in the Songwriting Hall of Fame, and he's had songs recorded by B.B. King and Buddy Guy and so on and so forth. And that one's called Always a Woman, and they wrote that when
That's
they
a
were.
good song too.
Kevin and Gary wrote that when they were in Mexico. They wrote it for Delbert, but Delbert never ended up cutting it. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty certain this one has never been cut before.
When's the last time you were in Memphis?
Oh God, it's been a while.
It's a hike. People think that Nashville and Memphis.
Well,
are
I mean,
like
if you live in
next door.
Nashville and you want to go to Memphis, it's only like 3 hours. But you know, if you want to go to Memphis from here,
Yeah.
it's like 15 hours.
It's a hike. I've been there. And,
I mean, I've been to Memphis quite a few times, but probably the last time I was there was probably 2005.
yeah,
So it's been a long time.
I like it there.
Well,
you know, but I grew up an urban guy.
Yeah.
You know, so
Well, I love
so
Memphis.
Beale Street is, you know, it's like candy. It's
know,
just so much going on. You know.
Yeah, I love Memphis. You know, we competed in the International Blues Challenge there twice in 2001 and 2003 and made the finals both times. And that's a great town. It's a great music town. There's so much history there, and you know,
Food.
and history. Well, you know, I mean, if it's you want barbecue, it's a good
was
spot.
great. Yeah, we took care of everything down there.
Yeah.
So, Heartbreak in Disguise. Now, I wanted to ask you, you know, a lot of people write from their experiences, but a good fiction writer or sci-fi or something, they can't write from, they've never been on the moon, but they can write about things like that. So how much is you and how much is...
So that particular tune, Heartbreak in Disguise, it started with the title. I had the title, and me and Kevin and James sat down, and Kevin's like, well, what's your vision for this song? And I'm like, I really want it to be like a Muscle Shoals R&B groove. And that's basically it. We wrote the lyrics and the music in about 20 minutes.
Wow, nice.
Yeah. And then,
Oh, that's incredible.
and then, you know, once we got into the studio to cut it, you know, the whole arrangement came together because all the guys on this particular album are, you know, studio aces. So, you know, they just eat that stuff up.
Yeah, no, that's a great song. How about this? Is I'm surprised you finally wrote something about Belize.
Yeah. So it was funny because
I got to visit you in Belize.
yes, you
last
did,
year,
and we had
right
quite a
around
fun-
this time.
And I'm leaving Monday to go back for 3 months.
I bet you are.
I am. So the interesting thing about that particular song is Kevin was supposed to come down and be there because, and during the time that he was supposed to be there, there was a total eclipse of the moon in Belize.
Yeah.
So I wrote this song, or I wrote the lyrics to Placencia Nights the evening of the full moon eclipse. I didn't have any music to it, but I had all the lyrics. And when I got to Kevin's, that was the first song that we finished.
Yeah.
And he's like, and I kept sending him the lyrics and pictures. Well, you know the pictures that we had from
Oh,
the
yeah.
balcony with the ocean and the palm trees. And I kept sending him pictures, and he was like, "Oh, I can just feel being there." I said, "Well, you're supposed to be here, but you know they had an emergency come up and they couldn't make the trip."
That's a shame.
But that's how that song came together.
I have great memories of Belize. The one morning I got up from a hangover after the Eagles beat the Packers, right? We were partying in the tiki bar.
Toucan Jacks.
Toucan Jacks.
Yeah.
Okay, I forgot the name. But so I'm wading in the ocean. I'm just relaxing and everything. And there's this 6'4" guy in there. I'm like, "Hey, how you doing?" And I said, "Hey, did you catch that game?" He goes, "Yeah, I met you last night." So
Oh, boy.
apparently I was a little belligerent about the Eagles.
Oh, no.
I was a poor winner.
Must be a Philly thing.
Yeah, he turned out to be a real nice guy.
There
but,
you go.
know,
And he didn't beat you up or anything.
he didn't beat me up, and the hangover subsided at some point. But getting back to the album, so you got to going back to Memphis is a redo of.
Yeah, so we originally released that track in 2004 on a Roadhouse Rhythm album, and
Right.
I really wanted to revisit it because you know I had the opportunity to have the McCrary sisters sing on it, which is I mean they're gospel royalty. So, and Kevin really he's like, yeah, we should do this track again. So We reintroduced that, and I think it's great.
Jackie Wilson.
Jackie Wilson's a badass. She's a Nashville standout, great singer, great artist, and again, she came through Kevin. You know,
That's a big name.
When we and you know, obviously everybody thinks about Jackie Wilson and Motown.
Yeah.
But, this Jackie Wilson's a female.
Okay.
And she's white.
Okay.
The other Jackie Wilson that
I just
everybody,
saw it on the page.
everybody
I'm like,
thinks of
I have to ask
was
you about Jackie Wilson.
African American man who
Right.
you know sang on the Motown label.
Yeah.
But when we wrote Heartbreak, you know, once we had the track recorded, I said, you know, this really sounds like it should be a duet, and we brought her in.
Oh, nice.
And then she ended up singing on that and 3 other tracks as well. She sings on Driving Rain, and she sings on Oh Lonesome Me and Roll Chattahoochee Roll.
Luck Runs Dry.
So Luck Runs Dry is basically a song about a guy that owes money to a loan shark.
Okay.
And again, I had the title, and Kevin came up with the riff along with me, and then we just wrote the music and lyrics. Again, that one probably an hour.
So what's the process? You go down there, just looking to make some new tracks, and
First process, like we wrote all the songs before we recorded anything.
Right.
Other than like little demos on our phone, so we would just know, like, remember, like, you know, the chording that we picked and the lyrics and stuff, and then that gives you a chance to listen to it, and if you want to tweak it, you know, tweak the lyrics or whatever. But usually, 9 times out of 10, it starts with a title, for me anyway.
producing an album like this. I mean, you're in control of everybody, all the musicians.
Well, actually, Kevin was the producer on this record.
Okay, so
he's the
you
one
actually
calling all.
how'd that feel? Because I
It was
know
good
you've been a
because-
producer on
Yeah,
a lot
I mean,
of stuff.
it's he really pushed me vocally on this record.
Okay, great.
You know,
Yeah.
he was like, you really need to, you know, step out with your vocals on this.
Get a little more dynamic.
And just, you know, he's like, I think you can make better records if you just listen to what I tell you.
Yeah.
So
Every once in a while, it's good to do that, right?
oh yeah, because you can't just continue to do the same thing over and over again. So, and the other big thing I think that helped in that process was my wife Michelle came down to the studio when I was cutting all the vocals, and between him and her busting on me, it got me where I needed to be.
Don't I know about that? Michelle's great. So, Oh Lonesome Me,
So
that's a remake.
Yep, that's
Yeah.
a song originally written by Don Gibson, and it's just
That's an old song, isn't it?
yeah, 1960 it was written.
60.
But the Kentucky Headhunters redid it in the 80s, and then we revisited it on this album because it's such a groove, such a great
Yeah.
groove, and Jackie sings her butt off, and the band plays their butt off, and it's just a good upbeat dance song.
So you're gone for all the cold weather. You'll be back in April, right?
And the March will be back the 30th.
March.
Yep.
That's great.
And we have a album release show coming up at the Sellersville Moose on Friday, April 17th.
April 17th.
Yeah,
That's a Friday.
that is a Friday.
Shit, I got to work. But I'll try and make it down later on. But so you go from Luck Runs Dry to When the Bills Come Due.
So when the bills come
When the
due,
bills come due.
that song is all about when Doge was happening and all the federal workers were getting axed.
Yeah.
It's about that, and it's basically about a veteran named John who works for the man, and he got his walking papers today.
Yeah.
After 30 years. Thank you for your service.
Yeah.
There's the door. So it felt appropriate to write about that during the current times.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we're through most of that. Tell me about Deadwood.
Deadwood's about Deadwood, South Dakota.
Okay.
So back in the saloon days.
I love that
and
series.
the gold rush and everything. And, you know, it's all about hire guns, protecting gold claims, and miners and gambling men and gambling women and
women of working
ill repute.
working women. I was going to say. I was going to empower them, Mike.
Well, they are empowered.
They were, weren't they?
It's the world's oldest profession.
And finally, oh yeah, well, let's talk about Roll Chattahoochee Roll.
So Roll Chattahoochee Roll is a song that
You wrote that.
I wrote that with a couple friends of mine, Kevin Van Hoy, who lives in Fort Mitchell, Alabama, right on the
Right, I met
Chattahoochee River.
Kevin, yeah.
And so this song is pretty much all about him growing up near the Chattahoochee River in Columbus, Georgia.
Is that where it is? Columbus.
Well, it runs between Georgia and Alabama, the Chattahoochee River.
Yeah, you can't tell a river which way to go.
Well, downhill. It always goes downhill.
Goes downhill. It doesn't, Mike?
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, and finally, Down the Hatch.
So Down the Hatch is a song about like the drunk guy at the bar. You know who he is. He's the loud guy. He's buying everybody's drinks. He's falling off his bar stool. He's going up on stage uninvited, singing into the microphone.
That's me.
And one of the lines from the song is, "My wife says that I drink too much, and there's some truth to that. I blow in a tube to start my car. That's where my life is at."
I never had to do that.
So yeah.
Oh man, well,
It's just a classic honky tonk song.
it's a really great album, man.
Oh, thanks, man.
So you have a lot of dates coming up, starting in March.
Starting
right?
in April.
April.
Yep, I get back March 30th, and we're playing Friday, April 3rd at the Bucks Blues Explosion, opening for Nikki Hill at the Lock Performing Arts Center in Newtown. And then we have the album release party at the Moose on Friday the 17th. Saturday the 18th, I'll be back with the old guard version of Rollin' and Tumblin' at the Bridgeport Rib House.
CJ?
CJ and Matt will be on that
Nice.
gig. And then the following week, we have a Sunday gig at Country Creek Barn with the OG lineup.
That's always fun. That's a blast.
Yeah, but we got a bunch of shows coming up. We're
Anywhere new?
It's a couple places.
Yeah, I think
and
we've
we've
got a
got,
couple new
we're going to
places.
be back at White's Road Park for their concert series this summer. And then we have a date at the Sellersville Theater in September.
Awesome.
And then a lot more coming. Like we're working on some dates in Tennessee to go down there and do a couple shows with all the fine musicians that performed on the album.
Talk about the people who are putting out your album now.
So my buddy Kevin McKendry, who produced the album, and another friend of mine, John Heighthouse, have a record label called Qualified Records, and they also have a subsidiary of that label called Blue Sky Tunes. So this is going to be out on Blue Sky Tunes, which is a subsidiary of Qualified Records.
It's the first time you've been with them.
Yes, yeah, first release with them, and
Through Kevin.
Through Kevin and John. John was gracious enough to allow me to stay at his place a few times because I made about 10 trips to Nashville.
When are you going to get a condo down there? You should have one.
Well, when you got somebody that lets you stay somewhere for free, you don't need a condo.
That's right.
But yeah, so that's how that connection came about, and so I'm excited about that because there's going to be a pretty big push on this album, marketing-wise. So hopefully we turn some heads.
Yeah. Well, we're going to push this out as much as we can in
Cool.
local groups and
Appreciate
stuff like that. So, Mike, I consider you a good friend, and thanks for everything.
Thank
and
you. Thanks for having me, John.
Best of luck with the new album.
I appreciate it. We're going to make tens of dollars.
Tens of dollars.
Because the music business, it's so lucrative these days.
What's changed?
Well, the big thing that's changed is streaming has changed everything. People don't really buy CDs or albums
So what's your
anymore,
opinion on-
unless you know you have vinyl collectors. So we will be producing some vinyl, which is good for the classic audiophile.
Yeah, we're going to show the.
But you know, streaming has really made it really difficult for artists to make money selling music, because as soon as an album comes out, it's immediately on Apple Tunes and Spotify and Pandora, and people just stream it for free. You know, I'll give you an example. Your average stream on Spotify pays 0.0007 cents a stream. So even if you get 1 million streams on Spotify, you're going to make like $3,000.
Right.
Conversely, if you get airplay on Sirius XM radio, it's $44 a play.
Really?
Yeah. It's pretty much the only game in town
How
where
do
you're
you
making
slip
money.
in there?
Well, you got to grease up the who's ever
wheels.
doing the programming.
Well, you're a good networker.
Well, that's what the label's for.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So we'll see how we do.
Well, best of luck, and good luck in Belize. I know you're gonna. You'll be tan in a month.
Well, I don't know about being tan. I don't spend too much time in the sun. I'm a shade guy because I've had too many different things cut off my body. But my wife will be very tan.
Yeah, she will. Yeah, but So have a good time down there, and we'll see you when you get back.
Thank you, man.
All right, thanks, Mike.
See you, buddy.